Are you learning about electric vehicle charging and would like to start your own charging station project? In this video, I'll show you how to make it with all off-the-shelf components. The brains of the system is an Arduino Uno, one of the most popular hobby microcontroller boards. I'll explain the hardware and the code for the Arduino, which I programmed just enough to be able to charge a car and allow a certain maximum current to be safe for my installation. If you want to turn this project into a full complete product, that's up to you. I'll share everything you need to know to put this together and charge an electric vehicle with it. We'll do it in 5 steps. 1. I'll explain how this works via a block diagram. And here we have it. With this block diagram we can explain everything. The grid connects here via protective earth, line and neutral. This is a single phase connection. And the first thing that the grid connects to is to this RCBO, residual current breaker with overcurrent. This is very important because it's the device designed to protect against electric shock. The one that I'm using is compliant with IEC 61851 and will trigger when there's a residual current higher than AC 30 mA or DC 6 mA. I suggest if you're making a charging station project, you use an RCBO that is compliant with IEC 61851. This is designed to protect against electric shock. Alright, let's continue. Once you flip the switch, and then you have a line and neutral connected to these connectors. So you have a line and neutral to this power supply, which takes DC 12 volts to the Arduino. This is the control voltage that the Arduino Uno Shield needs to operate. The second thing is this power contactor here. It connects a line in neutral to this power contactor, and here is where we discuss what is the purpose of an AC charging station. The purpose is to connect the grid to the electric vehicle. So the component that does this is this power contactor here. So the Arduino Uno Shield has a relay here, and when it understands, it should close this relay. The coil of the power contactor will be energized and connect the grid to the electric vehicle. We can see that the electric vehicle connects to the charging station via line, neutral, protective earth and control pilot. Which leaves us with what does the control pilot do? So this is a communication wire between the charging station and the electric vehicle. The charging station tells the electric vehicle, I am available to connect you to the grid or not, and you can pull so many amps. And the electric vehicle tells back to the charging station, I want to start charging or I want to stop charging. Furthermore, we installed in the Arduino Uno Shield these LEDs to show the status of the charging station. So this one just to say that it's on, this one to show that it's plugged in to the electric vehicle, and these two will blink when the electric vehicle is charging. I will not go into the depths of why things are a certain way, the theory of electric vehicle charging. If you're interested in learning in detail about electric vehicle charging, I have a course in Udemy. It explains the theory, the standards, always with practical examples. I leave in the description a link to the course if you're interested. 2. I'll put it together just like the block diagram to make it easier to understand. 3. I'll show you all the parts, where to get them, and give you a cost breakdown. So in my website you can get a list of all the components. The shield for the Arduino Uno, the thin rail adapter, it's what allows you to mount the Arduino Uno on a thin rail, the Arduino Uno itself, the code, the RCBO, the power contactor. I use the 20 amp single phase, but you can choose another, a 12 volt power supply, and there's always links for the product, which you can choose to buy from there or just look at the specifications and buy it somewhere else. And the connectors as well, the bridge connectors I use to connect two connectors together, even the cables, the ferrule terminals that I use to protect the tips of the cables, and a cable with a vehicle connector in the end. The charging station will work with both Type 1 vehicle connector or Type 2 vehicle connector. You just have to connect protective earth, align, neutral, and control pilot to the charging station. Doesn't matter if it's in Europe for vehicles with Type 2 inlet or in US. It will work with both. And here's a cost breakdown. Again, all the components that I used, and in the end it goes to 390 euros. Keep in mind that this is not a charging station, this is a charging station project. This is meant for you to learn about electric vehicle charging. If you want a working charging station, you can just buy a finished product. But for a project to start making your own charging station, I think it's pretty alright to spend 390 euros in components. The brains of the charging station is an Arduino Uno. It needs a shield to go with it. You can buy it already made, but if you wanna make it yourself, I'll give you the fabrication files and the list of components. I partnered with PCBWay for fabricating the printed circuit boards. Via their website, it's super easy and fast to get a quote just by filling some data about your PCB and order quantity. I worked with PCBWay several times for prototyping of PCBs and also metal fabrication. They always deliver super high quality products and services. I leave a link in the description in case you would like to consider them for having almost anything manufactured. 5. I'll give you a short overview of the code so that you know what kind of intelligence is needed to make a charging station. I'll show some things that you may want to change, like the maximum current allowed by the charging station, and then you can evolve it to make a fully compliant charging station if you want, or whatever is your objective. Just a few brief notes about the code. I tried to comment it as well as I could to make it crystal clear, and if there's anything that you don't understand, please send a message. I'll reply very fast, usually within 24 hours. But I will show just this one thing that if you make a charging station, you will probably want to change. And that's the PWM of the control pilot. If it's 42, like I showed here, and I also show how to make the calculations, then the current allowed to charge by the car will be 10 amps. I will also leave this example here. If you want to make it 16 amps, then you just change this value to 68. So let's just I'll just program it with 68 and see what happens. First let's show it with 42. When it's programmed with 42 and 10 amps, what you can see is that the duty cycle of the control pilot is of 16%, and that means if you multiply it by 0.6, it means 10 amps. Now, if you change this value to 68 and program the Arduino Uno, what you'll see is that the duty cycle will change to 26%, and this will tell the car that it can charge at 16 amps. Alright, and that's it for explaining the code. Please write a message if there's anything that you want to know about it that isn't clear.